And aloha and hello, and how is everyone? Today is September 30th, 2022, and this is the Fielding Coaching Community of Practice Aloha Friday event. And I am Kimberly Akoris. We have a wonderful offering for you today as we celebrate National Recovery Awareness Day. Our first short speaker will be a representative from ACI, Kat Dobkin, who will bring us information on new resources for student services many may not be aware of, SOAR. Student Outreach Assistance and Resources is a comprehensive student assistance program designed to help students overcome personal challenges and succeed to graduation. ACI SOAR provides access to professional clinicians, school life specialists, and legal and financial experts to help students reduce stress, build resilience, and better manage responsibilities at school, at home, and in life. Immediately following our main workshop is Dr. Lori Davidson, Ph.D., who is a Human Services Practitioner with experience in counseling, teaching, administration, and program development. Lori also has extensive knowledge in several areas of health and wellness field, including nutrition and exercise. Currently, Lori is an assistant professor at Montgomery County Community College, where she supports first-generation and non-traditional college students. She received her Master of Science degree in Human Services from Chestnut Hill College and Master of Arts degree in Human Development from Fielding Graduate University. Her spiritual call led her to Fielding to share her knowledge of the lived experience of those in recovery. And I absolutely can't wait to hear what she has to say. As we get started.
Hi there, everyone. Thank you for coming to today's meeting. I'm so sorry that I can't be there in person, but thankful for technology to act as if I am there. My name is Kat Dobkin, and I am your contact at ACI Specialty Benefits for Fielding's Student Assistance Program. And today I'm going to go over the information that's included for this service. It is a service offered to you as a student of Fielding from Fielding, which is really nice. It shows their commitment to you to provide you just some extra support day to day. So I just want to clarify too that this program is for students. So if you are not a current active student, unfortunately it does not apply to you. There is a 30-day coverage after you graduate to use the services, but after that it would be for active students only. So if you have any questions, they will be collected and emailed them to me after the orientation. So feel free to share any questions that you might have about the services. So first I'm going to go over what is included. If you think of a student assistance program, ACI is here to support you with your day-to-day. And that means school-related challenges, personal challenges, maybe you're looking for local resources, stuff like that. Maybe you're just going through a hard time and you need to talk to someone, and that's exactly what we're here for. We come from a mental health support perspective and a school life balance. We want to help define that balance between the two. Everybody's is different, so we totally understand what that is. And every day could be different from the next. So in regards to emotional support, ACI offers every 6 months, you will get 3 sessions, and that's 1 hour each with a licensed therapist telephonically, and it would be scheduled telephonically. So it's by schedule. So what does that mean? You're going to call our toll-free number. You'll go ahead and let the intake specialist know that you're ready to use your free counseling, and they'll just check our system. Everything is 100% confidential. We will go through a small intake, but that's just like contact information. You, of course, let them know you go to school at Fielding, and then they'll take it from there. It's really that easy. They'll go ahead and get you scheduled with a clinician, and you can really request to use your free sessions about anything mental health related. It could be individual. Maybe you're having issues with a significant other. Maybe you're having family related issues or work related issues. You're going through a hard time with school. maybe you're dealing with losing a loved one or a pet, just a difficult transition. I know the last 3 years have been really hard for me. I relocated to a new state during a pandemic, and I became a mom. So, stuff like that, can really just mess up your day-to-day. So if that does occur and you think, oh, that is something that has affected me, this would be a really good time to use your free services. But again, 100% confidential and super easy to get set up. And, then you'll schedule your appointments on your own, and then you'll talk to that clinician about whatever. When you're going through the intake process too, you don't have to let them know that you have a specific reason. You can just say, hey, I'm ready to use my services, and then just have that conversation with the clinician about what's going on. Moving over to school life referrals, that means, again, a balance between the two, and that can mean anything. I would say out of this whole program, the emotional support will always be highly utilized. These school life referrals are kind of just something we want you to keep in your back pocket, because you might not need them today, but you might need them in a week or a month or whatever. So maybe you need to speak to an attorney. Maybe you're going through a legal matter, a family law matter. Maybe you're looking to get your record expunged. Maybe you're having some issues with the landlord, things like that. That's where you can call us. We'll get you a referral to our legal department, and they can talk to you about your situation. With the referral through ACI, you're going to get 60 minutes over the phone or face-to-face with that attorney. And then if you decide to retain the attorney because you do need representation in court or you need some documents prepared, then we'll go ahead and give you an additional 25% discount off the continued fees of the attorneys. So we're going to locate an attorney for you in your zip code based on the situation that you're dealing with. Financial consultation. Now keep in mind, this is not like a cash assistance or loan servicing type of service. It's straight from a consultation, meaning are you needing some assistance with credit consolidation, tax preparation, just some financial planning. They will give you some local resources if you're looking to, look for some additional assistance, but the service itself will not assist with providing that financial assistance. Childcare and elder care referrals. Childcare is definitely probably a little bit more utilized than our elder care, but it's just, we have a really wonderful work life team, and they're also your school life team. So they're there finding referrals for both students and our employees, based on what you need help with. Are you looking for local childcare? Maybe you're looking to get your child enrolled in school so that you can, really focus on school or go back to work. We're going to research those referrals for you in the zip code that you provide and your preference, and then we'll email those to you within a turnaround time, usually about a 2 to 3 business day turnaround time. We'll give you a list of referrals, and then it will be up to you to say, this looks good, this doesn't look good, and then to coordinate and pay for the type of service you're looking for, you'll go ahead and do that. But if you don't have time to do this research, that's where we really come in handy. And it's unlimited, meaning that you can call us back as many times as you need to until you find that perfect referral for your situation. Elder care is the same. Maybe you have a relative living with you and you're trying to do school and work and handle them. Or maybe they live on their own in a whole other, state, and they need some additional assistance. Same, just like the child care, depending on what kind of service you're looking for, the work life, school life team will go ahead and do the research for you and provide you that information via email. We want to take that one busy thing off your plate so that you can focus on work and you can focus on school and whatever else you're doing, and don't have to sit on the computer and continue to do that kind of research, letting us do that for you. Medical advocacy is kind of a newer service that we recently added. That means if you're ever in a situation where you received a bill in the mail from your medical insurance and you're not sure how to understand it, maybe you had just recently received a difficult diagnosis and you need some assistance reading some documentation from your doctor or being a second set of ears on a telephone call with a doctor, we have a medical advocacy team at ACI that will schedule telephonic appointments with you to discuss your situation, your medical situation. The really cool thing about this is there's no limitations, meaning that they will stick with you from the beginning to end, no matter how long that is. And our medical advocate team will talk to you about Here's your options. I did some research on this. Let me be on that phone call. And they're not going to tell you what to do, but they will give you all the education that you would need to assist with for you to make that right decision. And they also will do research on things like Medicare. So it's just like an extra set of eyes and ears on a challenging medical situation that you don't have to go through alone. The school and work life team will also be like your personal assistant, meaning if you're looking to book some travel, if you're looking to set up some reservations, you're looking for some specific restaurants, looking to purchase concert tickets, maybe looking for someone to come clean your house, or doing some projects on your home and you're needing referrals to carpenters or landscapers. Just like finding local resources on childcare and elder care, we're going to do the research on those as well. We're going to look for 5-star restaurants in San Francisco because you're going there this weekend. And stuff like that. It's really, really nice to just have someone do that busy work for you, give you the prices so you know exactly what's out there. You don't have to sit there while you're busy trying to do school and or after work and you're just completely exhausted. You're like, oh, I didn't do the research. I need to get someone in to fix this pipe, that's where we help too. So finding that school life balance, you focus on school, will help, fix the little things, help you with the little things around the house, or whatever, so that you can focus and have that balance. Because I know that when I overdo it, something always suffers. You got to just find that balance so nothing tips over. And then last but not least is our tools for daily living. Just like you see on the screen there, job search, emergency housing, low-cost laptops, or just local community-based resources. Our school life team will also assist you if you're looking for those specific services. Are you looking for a job right now? Maybe you're saying, I'm ready to take on work while I do go to school, or I think I can balance it, part-time, whatever. Maybe there's a situation where you lost your housing and you're looking for something really quick. We're going to look in your specific area. And of course, we will adhere to any kind of waiting list, local resources, community-based resources, and stuff like that. But we're going to do our best to find you some support if you are looking for like a low-cost laptop. I just got a brand new laptop and I dropped it the other day and I cracked the corner of it. So it's just like life continues to happen no matter what you're trying to do. And so, it's really hard to replace a brand new laptop all over again. Or maybe it's too expensive to replace the screen. You just say, I just need a whole new thing. And community-based resources too. Maybe you're needing some school supplies or you have any financial challenges. That's kind of where the community-based resources come in. But, if you just have any questions thinking, does this apply to the program? Just give us a call. Or, you're welcome to share your questions with any of your student advisors and above, and they know they can reach out to me to share those questions, and I'd be happy to answer them as best as I can. But free to use, the service is free to use for you as well. Calling our toll-free number. I'm going to show you the number at the end of today's orientation. I highly recommend saving that in your phone so that we're just a phone call away. But once you give that number a call and you say, I go to school at Fielding, that's it. That's all you have to do, and the intake specialist will take it from there. Here's that number. Call that number if you are ready to use services. 1-800-977-7728. And save that in your phone. Write it down. Keep it handy. Share it with your family members. Let them know they've got this really cool program through your school that they can use. And we would love to work with you, but don't hesitate. If you don't feel like using it right now, that's totally okay. You don't lose your services if you don't use it. As long as we provide the services to Fielding, then you have them there in your back pocket. So we look forward to working with you. And again, I apologize for not being able to be there live today, but I appreciate being there virtually either way. And feel free to share any of your questions with your organizer there, and I'd be happy to answer as many questions as you all have. But thanks for your time today, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
So I thought that was really valuable information. And I think that's a really good benefit that is being provided for us. And I thought that was really valuable to share that with everyone. And please pass it on. So if you have questions or need more information, there was actually about 6 more minutes of more detailed information that she did provide in that presentation. I will post that on the Basecamp video section. And in the interest of time, I kept her presentation to about 12 minutes. So I will, as I said, I will post that on the Basecamp video section. And if you have any questions for her, her name is Kat, please post them in the chat section, and I will forward them to her in our next meeting, or let me know. I will know who posted the question, and I will get back to you and let you know what the answer is. And then I'll also bring it back to the group. And without further ado, why don't I do that? Why don't I hand the baton over to Dr. Lori Davidson?
I will take it from you. Thank you.
Thank you. Here we are.
Oh, there you go.
There.
The baton is passed.
And I now mute myself. Thank you very much.
And I should mute myself too, since I've been drinking.
Well, thank you, everyone. Aloha. I am excited to be here, and shame on me for this being my first appearance. Kimberly, I apologize to you for that, because this is a fun group already. So this is great. I do have, so my agenda was to go through some slides. I only have about 8 of them. And then to do a little activity. So time permitting, because I don't want to cut any dialogue short, that, you know, we may have. So time permitting, we may do the activity, we might not. It's only bingo. So, you know, it's Friday night, get a little crazy with some bingo maybe. So I do want to share my screen. Oops, one moment. Get my PowerPoint up. And let me share my screen first. Okay, and don't want you seeing my notes, obviously. Okay. Okay, so I'm here tonight to talk to you about a nonprofit program that I am starting that came from the research that I did for my dissertation at Fielding. And, you know, as Kim said, which, by the way, Kimberly, thank you for that wonderful introduction. My degree from Fielding is in human development. My concentration is in somatics and phenomenology. Are there any other phenomenologists in the room? Maybe a thumbs up, maybe Astrid, don't hide. Okay. I can't see all of you, so. Though the topic of my research includes substance use disorder, which the majority of the population refers to as addiction, my research really focuses on what we call a life world, and it is the life world of recovery. And since September is National Recovery Awareness Month, our theme for the evening will be purple for recovery awareness. So you see here, my shirt, recovery is for everyone. And before I move on to telling you a bit more about Fit Recovery, I did want to do a little exercise just to pay homage to those who are living recovery, those who may have not made it to recovery. So statistically, addiction touches all of our lives in some way. So what I would like to do is, on the count of 3, I would like you to unmute and say the name of a person that comes to mind when you think about either addiction or recovery. And then we'll have a brief moment of silence after that. Okay, so count of 3, unmute, name, and then moment of silence. 1, 2, 3. John.
Brian.
Me.
Joanne.
Okay, thanks, guys. So this program, Fit Recovery, which the acronym is focused in transformative recovery, this really stems from my lived experience with my own recovery. So as an adolescent, I spent years in and out of the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. For those of you who are not familiar, it is a 12-step traditional program. Sometimes they share what we call war stories, which is a term members use when they're disclosing about their experiences in active addiction. And I found that really triggering and uninspiring. And the recovery capital I found through the peer support network there would slowly unravel each time someone went back out and used again, and then, would not come back. And again, it just wasn't working for me. So ultimately, I stopped attending the NA meetings to focus more on personal growth and try to really find another path to refrain from using. So years later, I found this path through physical fitness, specifically strength training. And so in the hopes of making a significant contribution to the field of addiction treatment, I felt it was, my responsibility to share my path. So I decided what better way to do this than to actually study the phenomenon that I was experiencing. So the phenomenological research question then became this: what is the essence of the experience of strength training as a means of preventing relapse in addiction? This picture is of one of my participants, Sarah. She submitted this picture as a representation of her feeling of what happens during strength training.
I'm not seeing a screen, I'm seeing you. Are you sharing?
I am. Is everyone else seeing the?
I think
we
all
see
do,
the research question.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm seeing
Read.
the slide
Sorry.
with this photo also.
It's me then. I'll have to figure that out. Thanks.
okay. And so, so this is her interpretation of her feeling. So the study itself, as I may have mentioned, I fancy myself a phenomenologist, and the study, here's some key points of the Fit Recovery study. So you can, read through this. And, really, had it not been for COVID, a lot of what I would have done would have been in person, in real time, in a fitness center. My goal actually was to interview the participants right after they had experienced the feeling. So to capture that feeling, that best way would have been after the specific movement or after the exercise. Now, unfortunately, that, again, because of COVID, was not possible. So what I decided to do was a photo elicitation, them submitting the photos, and in real time during the Zoom interview, we both reacted to them. I did not view the photos in advance, again, just so that I would genuinely visually experience the feeling with them as they narrated their feeling from the photo. So if anyone is interested in doing any type of photo voice, photo elicitation, I do have some resources that I can send you. I really do think that it adds to the research, especially if you are doing a phenomenologically based study. I know for me, I also did a lot with Van Manen and epistemological silence, because for me, Language has always been a barrier. Sometimes it might be putting the feeling into words, and sometimes feelings have no words for description. So that's always been something that I've struggled with. So again, using the photos, photo voice, photo elicitation, definitely supported my work. And I also think my participants, some of them, they struggled as well to explain their transformation and their essence. And I think by them submitting the photos, it really helped to guide the conversation. Now, right now in the, it's actually a really exciting time right now in the field of recovery, because there are several conversations happening. There's conversations based on what recovery is, what recovery is not. There is a large debate surrounding abstinence versus sober versus not sober, and defining recovery from a clinical lens. And how the abstinence model could really now be more harmful to clients. So if this topic is of interest, if as a coach or practitioner you do plan to work with this population, I do encourage you to follow me on LinkedIn, join our conversation that's been going on. They're usually once a week in the afternoons around 2 or 3. I'm on the East Coast, so wherever you are in the world, you just want to be mindful of that. But a core principle of the FIT recovery model is that recovery is whatever it is to the person living it. That is not to say that if we observe a client acting in a way that is harmful, that we won't call them out on it. That's certainly not what I'm saying. But the idea is to experience what a healthy lifestyle could look and feel like first, not necessarily abstinence. And I respect that each person has their own path to recovery. It's unique, and frankly, practitioners should all be in the business of keeping people alive, not judging their recovery journey. And as most of you know who work with students or clients, once that judgment comes into the space, or they feel that from you, they're turned off. That it promotes less sharing, and eventually you'll lose them anyway. So from the study, I developed stages of the FIT recovery transformation. And again, using phenomenology and Husserlian concepts, these stages emerged from the 9 participants, really. And it was interesting that I was able to connect the visuals with the themes from the study, from the reporting. This tool will assist recovery practitioners and clinicians as they work in or outpatient settings, whatever the model is. And if their clients are using strength training as their treatment plan, they can have this as a reference for the client as well, so that the client can have a visual of their progress. Are they sliding back? Are they making it through the stages of the transformation, helping them gauge their motivation, client attitudes, their self-reporting, and just overall general adherence to the strength training program. And this model is also helpful, again, for clients who may want to be more included in their treatment process. The study itself really, I think, did a good job of showing how wellness is not included in most treatment plans. Now, it is from a perspective of abstinence, and maybe meditation and modalities like that. But again, wellness as far as strength training, maybe diet, nutrition, many of those practitioners are not yet at the table in a treatment setting or a treatment team. So the Fit Recovery Program will connect these certified personal strength trainers or trainers with clinicians, and this way it will surround the client with an entire wellness team. And as I said, traditional counseling methods and rehabs, they don't really do that right now. Most treatments for substance use disorder really focus on psychotherapy, either one-on-one or group counseling settings. And these are helpful at getting to the root causes of a client's vulnerability factors, their triggers. However, this process, and I'm probably preaching to the choir here, this can take many years. And I view this as working from the inside out. But the essences from the Fit Recovery study developed earlier, for example, while client is within a monitored rehab center, gives them the coping strategies they need to avoid relapsing after they are discharged. And it provides them more time as well as distance away from the substance until they have a grasp on what living recovery actually looks like. What is that life world now? How am I filling my time differently? So they're going to be able to use that once they leave the treatment center, instead of just hearing, okay, you report for group rehab or individual counseling, group counseling or individual counseling, and 90 meetings in 90 days. Now, I view this work as the Fit Recovery work as working from the outside in. So by combining the two, the internal and external work simultaneously treats addiction and supports the client's recovery by helping them to feel not only physically better, but also working on an aesthetically pleasing look, which, many of us know when we look good, we just tend to feel good. A lot of that mirror image, sometimes reflects, what can be happening inside, and sometimes it doesn't. But again, for those where the traditional treatment model is not working, this may be an option. So currently, as I said, I am working on creating the Fit Recovery model as a nonprofit. And in the future, I expect that I will expand it to support not only those in recovery from substance use disorder, but also those who have been exposed to domestic violence, as well as various childhood traumas. I'm also hoping to have a gym on wheels, so that is my goal. And also partner with some local gyms like Silver Sneakers, if anyone's familiar with that model. So that would be my dream for Fit Recovery. If you are interested in the literature on any of these topics, I would recommend these resources. Now, these resources are taken directly from my literature review of the study. Especially Recovery Capital. Recovery Capital right now, so for anyone that doesn't know, Recovery Capital are the internal and external resources that a person has to support them in their recovery. Now, again, this could be, childhood traumas, domestic violence, and again, substance use disorder. But right now, Recovery Capital is big in the addiction field. They're really coming out with a lot of models that back this. But again, I feel that it really depends on the severity of the addiction when it comes down to it, and what resources the person will have. So, but I have a couple books in my cart on Amazon on Recovery Capital. So I do talk about this in my research and in my dissertation, so this will most likely be a study that I will do in the future. So let's chat. Questions?
I'm curious about your participants now. Do you still know where they're at? How are they doing?
I am in contact with most of them. I think there's maybe only one that I'm not in contact with. And that's because he does live in another state. So email sometimes, he just doesn't check it too often. But yeah, I mean, they're doing very well. One is actually professionally, she went out on her own after the study. So she is now embracing entrepreneurship and she loves it. And she, she was someone that had chosen, like many of us, to remain anonymous for most of her life. And now she has basically, come out, so to speak, about her addiction and living recovery, and it has served her well. So and everyone else seems to be doing great. I have followed up with them at every stage. So once I graduated, I sent them an email giving them an update. Once I published the dissertation, I did the same, because it's truly, without them, this truly would not have happened. So and their courage to come out, and as again, Astrid, with using the photos, it's out there, their face is out there, and again, it's very courageous.
So Lori, let me ask you, your FIT model can be used in harm reduction recovery models. So they could use it while they're working on, if their goal is abstinence, they could start working out right away.
Yeah, harm reduction, MAT, medication assisted therapy. So now, as long as, because again, some of these medications, we wouldn't want anyone
like
hurting
on
themselves.
Yes, you wouldn't want them on Suboxone and working out. Or
correct.
Something like that. Right.
Yeah. So again, hence the team, right? Everyone there together, so that maybe if a person did, instead of wanting to meditate, because honestly, for me, in treatment, I could barely sit in my own skin.
Right.
And you want me to sit and meditate? There was no way. But get me physical, I was all over it.
Right.
So again, maybe balancing that medication, with something else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think that's fabulous. I'm really impressed with your work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you think there's anything about the timing of how long they have been in recovery? Like, is there an entry point when this is best, not best, or is everyone is just really so individual, the journey of recovery, that it's hard to say?
Well, Astrid, it's funny that you asked me that, because I was thinking about that the other day. Part of my journey to do this work is because I lost one of my cousins, my younger cousin. And in the beginning, he had been going to the gym with me. And it was about a good year that he was off his drug of choice, but he was never truly abstinent. He would drink or he would smoke weed, never truly abstinent. And I often think to myself, had I found recovery, it's going on, I don't really count, but it's going on at least 19 years for me. But had I had found recovery earlier through fitness, what would that have looked like? Would I have relapsed as much as I did? I don't know. But it is a good question. But I think the sooner the better, because again, once you get the feeling of what happens when you start lifting weights, when you start living, and I know it's so cliche, guys, but it is a lifestyle. Once you start doing that, you actually don't want to go out and party the night before, because you know, oh, hey, I have a big deadlift tomorrow and I want to pull some weight that I haven't tried before. You know, you want to be at the top of your game. Or, hey, I'm going to the beach and I want abs this week, or I want some more definition or things like that. And to most of us, it sounds so superficial, but who cares? If it's going to keep you alive, then use it. So some people will say, well, what about the reverse addiction, getting addicted to the gym, getting addicted to your body and things like that? And yes, that is a risk. Eating disorders, body dysmorphia, all of that, of course, that's a risk, but that's going to be risky, with anything. Even with medication assisted therapy could be risky. So I don't know if that answered your question, but it is something I've thought about.
I like you brought the nutritionists in as well, so I guess that could be helpful too, right? When you're thinking about that reverse, so that it's more of a balance. Like this is not replacing this; you're moving towards lifestyle, like you said, a healthy lifestyle. So hopefully there would be some balance to all of the gym time.
Yes, and there is an entire movement. They're called the Alliance on. What is the name? The name escapes me. I want to say Alliance of Addiction, but it's really not. And they are practitioners, nutritionists, and they do focus on a lot of BCAAs, so branched chain amino acids, and getting those into your diets, proteins, to reduce cravings. But again, this would have to be, through the grant, someone that I could get as part of the team.
All right, one last one for me. What are you most excited about now? Having finished your study, what's the most exciting part for you personally?
Definitely the nonprofit. I mean, I have a logo ready. I have here in Pottstown, where I'm from, we have Pottstown Health and Wellness Foundation. Their grants, their request for proposals comes up in May. So I want everything ready to get going. I do have some personal trainers that they can't wait to get started. I potentially have a facility that is willing to, pilot the program to see how it goes. So it's just amazing how when you start to follow your path, how things will just start to align in the universe for you. Again, I was one that remained anonymous in my recovery, and it really wasn't until I started attending fielding. I found this group called the Paradigm Shifters, and I found this amazing group in my phenomenology class, and they gave me the space to really be who I was, because especially as a professional in higher ed, you don't know, and you're fearful of the stigma. But once I was with other people that were these professionals in these amazing roles out in the world, in California and Canada and all over, and they didn't care. They applauded me. So that made it okay.
Congratulations. Very exciting.
So Lori,
Yeah.
I have run across in my life, in my career, a number of places where I want to help. I'm trained to help, but I'm also told that there's a line between coaching or non-professional and professional help. You are a Ph.D., but you're not an M.D. So where do you see your research and what you're developing, where do you see that sort of, in that, on that, it's not really linear, but there kind of is a continuum. There's a non-professional and a professional, you know what I'm saying?
I think I know what you're saying. So, and that's why I think by partnering with the facilities who do have these folks on staff, is essential. Now, once clients are discharged, then the next piece of focused in transformative recovery would be for them to be part of that fit recovery, like silver sneakers model, where they could work with their personal trainer on their own outside of the rehab. But as far as in treatment, now they're done detox. They, as Kimberly pointed out, they've either are doing MAT or the harm reduction, whatever it is. They're getting through that phase. For me, that's about 6 months. Getting through that first 6 months. But we're working with them the whole time. They're building that relationship with their personal trainer, the gym on wheels, or, we can work really anywhere if the facility doesn't have room for us. But yes, to your point, sure, because, I'm definitely not an MD. Neuroscience fascinates me. I think Fielding has a certificate in it, but I'm not ready to go back to school yet. So, but yeah, I definitely hear your concern. So that partnership is crucial.
Well, concern, yes, but I mean, I do value what you are trying to create. I think that what you're bringing into existence, right? Because that's what PhDs do. You're bringing this a critical link between people with the need, right, and through that, whatever that transition is, through that process to professional counseling, professional medical help. I mean, you just can't. There's not a natural hop, jump, connection between that, right? Between what people need and the actual. Oh God, this is so hard. You said, right? I just think you're a bridge. You're bridging. You're creating a bridge. That's what I see. That's what I feel. What do you think? Do you think that's?
I hope that's what I'm going to do. Yeah,
okay.
For sure. And
cool.
and the recovery practitioners that I've talked to, they struggle because they feel that right now, and for the last year, I mean, things are getting worse. With fentanyl and now all these fancy street drugs, and I mean, it's not getting better. And one organization that I really admire, Savage Sisters, look them up. Amazing group of young women, and they're doing it. They're out there on the around here. It's Kensington. Those are our streets, and they're down there. They have their own nonprofit they opened up down there. Their harm reduction, their MAT, they're whatever you need them to be to stay alive. And they have clients going there, and these ladies are out on the street, and they're trying to bridge just for awareness. They actually don't focus on recovery. They just focus on keeping people alive. So again, I hope that I'm going to be a bridge. I hope by doing all of the work up front, that facilities will say, yeah, come on in, we'll pilot your program, because it's not going to cost them anything, because of the grant. So, again, maybe Kimberly, you'll have me back in a year and we'll see what happened.
Absolutely, we'll have you back in a year.
And congratulations, because I think this is amazing. It's amazing because it touches the lives of people, right? I think it's going to make a difference in the world.
This is really important work, Lori. Thank you so much for coming and speaking with us and sharing it with us, and spending your time. I really
My pleasure.
appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And thank you everyone for coming and spending your time here at Aloha Friday. It's been a wonderful Friday afternoon with you. And just so you're aware, we will not be here next month because it's Thanksgiving weekend, and the month after that will be Christmas. So we are taking a hiatus for 2 months, and we will be back in full force with January with a fabulous guest and a fabulous technical guest. So stay tuned, and we will have announcements on that. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending, and have a fabulous, fabulous weekend.
Thank you, Kim,
Bye-bye.
for keep going. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody. Let me stop recording
Bye.
now.